Okay, so this is a little explanation of what um, this project is in terms of my website and YouTube channel. So basically, I'm thinking of this as kind of my like social accountability project, um, and so that's the point, is to provide me with accountability and also work on being public about my goals and successes and failures, which is something I'm not super comfortable with at the moment. So I started finding a couple weeks ago, before being really motivated, that I was starting to drag, and particularly I was repeatedly not meeting my daily goals, and then I guess not really repeatedly, but like my weekly goals. And I felt like one part of that problem is there was no external accountability. It was like, even though I was writing things down, beyond that, I had the opportunity to just like negotiate in my head why, like when I didn't meet a goal, like, oh, it's okay. And so I felt like I needed to bring in an additional tool to help make me feel like there's more accountability, keep me motivated. And then my secondary goal, or I guess tertiary, my secondary being to just become more comfortable and practice being public and open and transparent. But the third part of this, that I admit is kind of the weakest, is to try to build a sense of connection and community, by being more open about what's going on with me and what I'm working on and what's important to me in my life. And maybe through this, like stumbling into or reconnecting or connecting more with some people who are already in my life or in my social network at some level, who are interested in similar things or going through similar things. And yeah, I think like this is a pretty weak way of going about that. But I hope maybe it'll bear some fruit. I think the better way, but also something that scares me more. So it's on my eventual to-do list. But right now I'm working on this, is to be like more direct in approaching people. This is like very passive. But yeah, I'd like to be able to share what's going on with people, and maybe connect with some people. And I'm hoping, I don't expect that people will spend a lot of time, or like a lot of people will spend time on this, but I am hopeful that I'll get at least a few people who are checking in regularly, because, on one level, just knowing that anyone could look at this is definitely providing me more accountability and motivation. But if I had some evidence and a little engagement, that'd be even more powerful and helpful to me. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to get out of it. And then just to clarify, I view this as a tool, and so I'm gonna be experimenting with it, adjusting to it, and maybe at some point ending it, as feels useful and necessary. I don't value disclosure, or just like I'm a pretty private person, in spite of this, and I try not to, and I want to less in the future value disclosure kind of for its own sake. And there's an inherent sort of there's an indulgence to this project, but I want to try to mitigate that as much as possible. And like how this fits into my overall like future self is, this is one tool in the toolbox to like help me get where I'm going. And so I'm going to try to like embody that by only posting stuff with a specific reason, and really try to be honest and transparent, and I don't really believe in the concept of authenticity. So I'm not going to be trying to perform some like authenticity either, or like I said, I'm going to try not to. But I do want to present myself, as evenly as possible, and attempt sort of objectivity, just in terms of I'm not trying to make myself look good or bad. I just want to try to report what's really happening in my life. And then a little bit like to talk about like the wider context, like just like right now with the pandemic and like the world generally, just like I want to acknowledge that eh, I don't know, like yeah, the sort of indulgent nature of this project, and it's not the point. And like I said, the way I guess I'm justifying it is to use it and have it be something useful that can ultimately, by helping to transform me, then allow me to do work that supports other people. But yeah, I just want to put that out there, that I'm aware that just like writing a ton about myself and what I'm doing on a daily, weekly, whatever basis, and making a bunch of videos is kind of I don't know, like I have a lot of ambivalence about it, but I've come to the conclusion that it's, at least for a while, gonna be really useful for me. All right, so that is the purpose of my website and YouTube channel.